Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year, because this is going to be the new year when this is uploaded later tonight. But let's take a look at what's happening now. Well, first of all, Sioux City won big time in Fargo the other night, 6-3. So USHL scores other ones. At the end of one, Green Bay leads Team USA 3-2. Fargo leads Sioux Falls 2-1. Waterloo's leading Des Moines 2-0. Omaha at Sioux City, our game tonight, and then Lincoln at Tri-City at 7. Right now at halftime, the 76ers are leading the Magic 75-40. The Rockets are leading the Kings 38-36 in the second quarter. Sorry. The Raptors are leading the Knicks 10-4. The Pacers beat the Cavaliers 119-99. The Bulls beat the Wizards 133-130. And the Pelicans are at the Thunder at 7. And the Suns are at the Jazz at 8. College basketball, Wisconsin's beating Minnesota 71-59. Michigan's at Maryland at 7, and Oregon is at California at 9. There's a couple college football games, as you know. Mississippi State beat Tulsa 28-26. Ball State beat San Jose State 34-13. West Virginia beat Army 24-21. We'll see you on the first. Alright, so as you can see at the end of one period, Omaha's leading Sioux City 1-0. I would say not a great period for Sioux City, but it wasn't really a bad one either. It could have been better, definitely. But right now, let's take a look at some scores around the USHL. Green Bay, USA tied up at 4. Fargo leads Sioux Falls 5-2. Waterloo leads Des Moines 2-0, and then of course Lincoln leads Tri-City 1-0. NBA scores right now. The 76ers beat the Magic 116-92. Bulls beat the Wizards 133-130. The Indiana Pacers beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 119-99. The Pelicans beat the Thunder 43-39, well, they're leading, I should say. And then the Knicks and the Raptors are tied up at 42. And the Rockets are leading by 1 at the end of 3. Then, of course, the Suns are at the Jazz later. College football, Mississippi State beat Tulsa 28-26. They had that big fight after the game, if you remember. Ball State beat San Jose State by a score of 34-13, and West Virginia beat Army 24-21. College basketball, only 3 games today. Michigan is right now beating Maryland 46-41. Wisconsin's beating Minnesota 71-59, and California is at Oregon later tonight. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after this second period coming up. Well, Omaha's leading 2-1. Again, it wasn't really a bad period, but it wasn't a good period either. It definitely could have been better, honestly. Let's take a look at what's going on now. Green Bay beat Team USA 5-4 in overtime. Fargo beat Sioux Falls 6-3. Waterloo beat Des Moines 3-1, and Lincoln's leading Tri-City right now 2-0. NBA scores. The Rockets are leading the Kings. Well, they beat them, I should say, 122-119. The 76ers beat the Magic 116-92. The Bulls beat the Wizards 133-130. The Pacers beat the Cavaliers 119-99. The Raptors lead the Knicks 91-74. The Pelicans lead the Thunder 77-67. And the Jazz are leading the Suns 16-15. College football. Right now, Mississippi State beat Tulsa 28-26. Ball State beat San Jose State 34-13, and West Virginia beat Army 24-21. All right, college basketball. Michigan is leading Maryland 73-61. Wisconsin's beating Minnesota 71-59. And then California is at Oregon later tonight. We'll see y'all for the postgame. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our postgame show. We're going to review what happened tonight. Well, actually, last night, because it's 31 minutes past the New Year, so yeah. Omaha and Sioux City played tonight. Omaha won 4-1. I mean, you could blame the refs on that, like the Fargo game earlier last year. You can blame them for that, too. I mean, the reffing was just not great at all. You'll see why here in a minute, because like 85% of the penalties in the game were on us for stupid reasons. I don't know why, but anyway, scoring, we'll start with that first, because that's, you can't have a hockey game without any goals. First, Omaha scored at 11:40 in the first period. It was Zachary Karpa from Nikita Terashevich and Kyle Bettens. That made it 1-0. Then Brian Karabas for Sioux City tied it up at 1 from Ben Steves and Ethan Edwards. And then it was all Omaha after that. Former Musketeer Sam Antonucci from Nikita Terashevich and Kyle Bettens. They got the assists on that one. And then in the third, the final 3 minutes, Omaha scored 2. It looked like Sioux City was going to come back. I mean, of course, you would have liked that to happen on the New Year, but just like last year, they lost against Omaha again. It was Ryan Lautenbach scoring from T.J. Schwehart and Aiden Dubinsky. That's such an easy last name, and I flubbed it at least 3 times. Because I'm tired. You kind of see it, I'm sure. That happened at the 18:15 mark, and then with only 25 seconds left, Zachary Karpa from Nick Perna and Ryan Conroy. Now, this one should have been called back. There was goalie interference. Alex Tracy, one of our goalies, the player hit his glove, right? And then it wasn't one of those things where someone's in front of the goalie. It wasn't like that, but he hit his glove, and that was goaltender interference. But, like I said, the reffing sucked. So, I mean, I don't know what you were expecting with that. But, yeah, and then 51 seconds in, Omaha took a penalty. It was 2 minutes for tripping. We're now on to penalties now. Then at the 11:40 mark in the first, Jackson Newendike, 2 minutes for hooking. 14:48, Nikita Krivokrasov, 2 minutes for interference. Then at the 18:08 mark, John Fusco, 2 minutes for slashing. And then Damian Gardner at the 2:50 mark got a bench minor penalty for too many men. That's never good. And then Kirkland Irie, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Some of the calls were spot on, but most, especially within the last 5 minutes, were terrible. Ryan Conroy at the 8:03 mark, 2 minutes for slashing. Daniel Lotch at the 10:21 mark. Christian Jimenez, 2 minutes for interference. At the 19:02 mark, really the only action in the third period happened within the last 5 minutes of the game. It was Christian Jimenez, 2 minutes for interference, and then 3 minutes later, Ethan Edwards got called 2 minutes for slashing. And then Sam Antonucci, our favorite former Musketeer, got a roughing minor. No, it was a double minor, so it was 4 minutes plus a 10-minute misconduct. So, yeah, and then Sioux City got some penalties, too, on that. Gabe Blanchard, 2 minutes for roughing. Now, this happened with 13 seconds left. It was like a brawl, pretty much, but it wasn't, because there are only 3 players from each team fighting, and of course there's 5 guys on the ice, so anyway, yeah, 2 minutes for roughing for Gabe Blanchard, and he got a 10-minute misconduct for it too. Then Brian Karabas, he got 5 minutes for checking from behind, major, which they which they should have. They deserved it after, what happened. We lost, so there we go. College football scores. There was a lot of bowl games today. Bowl, right? Okay. What in the heck? Wait, this ain't. Hold up here, folks. Okay, here was today's bowl games. Ball State beat San Jose State 34-13. Mississippi State beat Tulsa 28-26. There was a big fight after that game. Because Tulsa are just sore losers, probably. And that West Virginia beat Army 24-21. Those were the only bowl games that were played. NBA scores. We had a laundry list of those, too. The Pacers beat the Cavaliers 119-99. The Bulls beat the Wizards 133-130. The 76ers beat the Magic 116-92. The Rockets beat the Kings 122-119. Sorry, there's a mirror there and I got distracted. The Pelicans beat the Thunder 113-80, and then the Suns beat the Jazz 95 to... Oh, sorry. The Suns beat the Jazz 106-95. I knew that didn't sound right. College basketball, Wisconsin beat Minnesota 71-59. Michigan beat Maryland 84-73. And then, of course, Oregon beat California 82-69. Well, that'll do it for us here tonight. We're about three hours into the new year as you're watching this, because I'm uploading it at about 3 a.m. Well, I'm editing it and then scheduling it to release then. Now that I figured out how to, release videos, exactly at, a certain time. I've been doing that now. Recording them the first, or the day, and then the day after I upload it. Or sometimes 3 days after, like I did with the Ronnie show. So, yeah. So, yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. 2021 is going to be a great year for sure, because... sports are going to be starting back up again here in a couple of weeks. Whoop. And then, of course, the Ronnie Show. Hopefully we could do in person instead of, doing it without Abby. But that won't be until June. If we do happen to do the Ronnie Show, we're probably going to start filming in early June. Depending on when Abby wants to. It's really all up to her, really, when we film. And it could be, any time, too, so. Yeah, and then, if we film, then we're probably going to have to film at least probably 6 or 7 episodes a day. Which we've done that before, so we're used to it. So, yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all in, actually in about 20 hours. No, that's going to be... Okay, forget it. I'll see you at 7 p.m. for money cards and then 8 p.m. out for pressure luck. I'm going to film those videos right now. So, yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys all next time. Omaha beats Sioux City 4-1. Bye.